Hey guys, welcome back to my new video. As I promised in my last video, today I'm bringing you a full guide on Leslie. This video covers everything you need to know: skills, builds, emblems, playstyle, counters, and pro tips, so make sure to watch till the end. This might just change how you see Leslie. Leslie is a marksman/assassin hybrid, known for her long-range crit damage, invisibility, and burst potential. She can one-shot squishy heroes and dominate late-game fights if played correctly. Okay, now let's talk about her strengths and weaknesses. As you can see, I wrote about her strengths and weaknesses, but let me explain in detail. Let's start with her strengths. First is insane critical burst damage. Now let's see with an example. Leslie's basic attacks, especially when her passive is ready, deal massive critical damage. This means if you're targeting soft heroes like mages or marksmen or squishy assassin, you can literally eliminate them in 1 or 2 shots with the right build. Next is longest basic attack range after passive activation. When Leslie hasn't taken damage for a few seconds, her passive activates and gives her an extended attack range. This lets you poke enemies from a distance without them being able to fight back, which is perfect for staying safe and still dealing damage. Next, turns invisible with skill 1 for mobility and damage boost. Her first skill lets her turn invisible for a few seconds, giving her a movement speed boost and bonus attack power. It's great for escaping danger, sneaking into better positions, or setting up surprise attacks. Next, global ultimate, map-wide snipe, to secure kills. Leslie's ultimate can target enemies from anywhere on the map.
Faster than a speeding bullet?
It locks onto a single target and fires 4 bullets, each doing solid damage. Perfect for finishing off enemies who try to run away with low HP. Lastly, scales incredibly well in late game. The longer the match goes, the stronger Leslie becomes. Once she gets her core items like Berserker's Fury and Blade of Despair, her damage becomes scary. Even tanks start losing big chunks of HP. Now, let's talk about her weaknesses. First is weak in early game before core items. In the early minutes of the game, Leslie doesn't do much damage and can be easily bullied by stronger early game heroes. You need to farm safely and avoid risky fights until you complete a few core items. Next, vulnerable to CC, crowd control, stuns, silences, slows. These are Leslie's worst nightmare. Since she doesn't have any hard escape skills, getting caught in CC often means game over, especially during team fights. Next, lower attack speed than other marksmen. Unlike heroes like Melissa or Moskov who spam fast attacks, Leslie is more about timing single powerful hits. This means she can't burst down enemies quickly if her passive or crits aren't ready. Lastly, needs good positioning and map awareness. Leslie shines when she's attacking from the backline. If you're caught in the front or surprised by an assassin, you're done. Always keep an eye on the minimap. Avoid face-checking bushes, and stay near your tank or support. Okay, now let's talk about Leslie's skills, but before jumping into that, let's first clarify some key terms. First up, critical chance. What is critical chance? It's the probability that an attack will deal critical damage instead of normal damage. Let's understand this with a simple example. If you have 30% critical chance, that means 30 out of 100 attacks will deal critical damage instead of regular damage. Now, what is critical damage? So, critical damage is the multiplier that decides how much extra damage a critical hit will do compared to a normal attack. By default, all critical hits in MLBB deal 200% of your normal damage, which is 2x damage. Let me explain you with a simple example. If your normal attack deals 100 damage, a critical hit will deal 200 damage. But you can increase this multiplier with items or skills. Like, which item should you use to increase critical damage? Simple, just use Berserker's Fury and all set. Okay, now quickly discuss her skills. Passive, lethal shot. Every 5 seconds, next basic attack equals guaranteed crit. Also increases range if not hit for 5 seconds. Skill 1, camouflage. Goes invisible for 3 seconds, gets bonus speed and attack. Skill 2, grenade. Knocks enemies back, resets passive. Ultimate, snipe. Locks target, shoots 4 bullets. Each shot ignores 50% armor. Okay, now let's talk about best playstyle and strategy for Leslie. In early game, farm safely and poke with passive. In the early game, Lesley is pretty weak until she gets her first core item, so your main job is to stay safe. Deal damage little by little until your tank or mage rotates, and poke enemies using your passive's long range. Crits without getting too close.
Launch attack!
There's nowhere to hide within my range.
In mid-game, play behind tanks
No way.
and abuse range. Stick with your team, especially your tank. Lesley has a long attack range, so stay in the back and deal damage from a safe distance. Let your front line soak up damage while you snipe from behind.
Double kill! An enemy has been slain!
Lastly, in late game, two-shot squishy heroes with crit burst. By now, you'll have high crit damage and penetration. You can literally delete enemy mages or marksmen in 1 to 2 shots. Focus on positioning and target priority.
Slain an enemy!
I normally use this powerful crit burst build. This build is great for melting squishy enemies. But when you're up against different types of marksmen, sometimes you'll need to adapt your build a bit. So, I'll show you exactly what build you should use according to your situation. If your enemy is with high attack speed like Melissa, Carrie, Claude, I suggest you should use the above build, as they shred you fast if you don't survive the burst. If your enemy is with poke and range like Beatrix, Brody, I suggest you should use this build as they can keep harassing you from range. And if the enemy is with lifesteal like Moskov, Bruno, Irithel, I suggest this build, as they heal a lot and win 1v1. If you can't burst them. Actually, I'm experimenting with builds. So I use Wind Talker, Berserker's Fury, Endless Battle and early for smoother farming and poke. Then I go full crit for the late game. Some of you guys commented that Wind Talker is useless in Lesley, but that's not true. If you need good positioning and a smoother early minutes, then Wind Talker is a good option. Okay, now let's talk about Lesley's counters and how to survive against them. If you're up against Saber or Natalia, your best option early on is to buy Wind of Nature as soon as possible. These assassins can one-shot you before you even get a chance to react. If the enemy has Brody or Clint as their marksman, don't take 1v1 fights. Early, both of them have strong burst damage that can easily melt you. It's better to wait until you have your first core item before taking any risky fights. Other counters like Franco and Kaya can be a nightmare too, especially if they roam and help their marksmen during early game. In situations like these, stay near your turret and poke little by little without overextending. Your goal is to survive the early game and scale into your power spike. Now here are some pro tips and tricks you should know. First is, wait for passive reset before engaging for max burst. Second, use Tactical Grenade to instantly reset passive for double crits. Third, position safely, never frontline. Always poke from range. Fourth, use ultimate for vision before fights. Fifth, change builds based on enemy lineup. Don't stick to one build. Lastly, if you're new to Lesley and you're already in high rank, I'd honestly suggest not picking her, at least not yet. Trust me, Lesley becomes one of the hardest heroes to master in mythical immortal ranks. So unless you know everything about her, or you're a crazy Lesley main like me, maybe just admire her from a safe distance for now. What do you think about Lesley? Is she still meta or just a stylish bait? Let me know in the comments. And hey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more Lesley gameplay, guides, and meme moments. Catch you in the next video.